Okay, Earl.
Do you then witness to the miracle and not the laws of sin? There is no need to suffer anymore, but there is need that you be healed, because the suffering and sorrow of the world have made it deaf to its salvation and deliverance.
And one of the reasons, doesn't this make sense, that the suffering and sorrow we experience, or everyone experiences and we see around us, would make us deaf? Because it seems to be such convincing evidence that all this is just fantasy, that we really are more than this. It just seems to be so real that it's hard to hold faith that it is what is not true, and this is what's true. So that's why it makes us deaf to salvation and deliverance, because we don't even bother to strive or reach for it, because it seems foolish. Because look at all this evidence. How in the world could there be a God of love? How could there be an answer to this complete confusion? We just need to bury our head and find some kind of worldly pleasure to compensate for all the other anxiety. Doesn't that make sense, though? It's such convincing. It makes us deaf. And it has made the world kind of calcified and difficult, I think, to reach, because it's frightening to reach for this idea of salvation that's been promised down through the ages when it might not be there, you know.
And I'm not so crazy about him healing my pleasures either.
Yeah.
That's really a challenge, isn't it? Just off the top.
Off the top, I can understand what you mean.
Healing your
He
pleasures.
can start in the negatives, you know.
But the pleasure he's talking, this
Yeah.
pleasure, he's not taking away the experience of joy.
No. Right.
He's shifting
Yeah.
what you thought was your imitation for joy, was the
Yes.
pleasure here. He's going to up the ampage to joy because every pleasure here has pain behind it.
Yes.
So we're not, it sounds like, okay, now I'm just going to be
Yeah.
no pain, no pleasure, just kind of,
Which is not terribly appealing.
Not very.
I would almost rather go up. If I have to go down to go up, I know it's a roller coaster, but at least it's exciting. But I don't think joy and eternal bliss and eternal peace is, that's neutral. I don't think that's what it is. It's just derived, these pleasures are derived from a body identity. So behind the pleasure is the fear that it is proving your body. So there's fear under it. So this will be a kind of pleasure, a kind of joyful experience that is based on truth. So it can't be, there's no fear behind it. That once this pleasure ends, you go back to your regular.
Right. It could end. Yeah.
But it does sound like that's what he's saying. But that's not what he's saying.
Good.
Because remember how many times in the workbook he talks about joy?
Happiness.
Happiness.
Hey. Well, it's important that our TV viewers understand.
Yes.
Because they're going to be flipping channels.
Yes. Because you would have. And I would have too. If this wasn't about happiness, I would not be on this boat to China. I would have gotten off of this river and turned in another direction. If this is about something other, I don't think I would be interested. Happiness sounds like a good goal.
Yeah.
Which is different than pleasure, I think. Little worldly, happiness is something constant, remember?
Yes. I'm just getting clear all the time that pleasure that's of the body is just, it really is not worth all it's cracked up to be. You know? It's like, I look in the mirror, I look great today. And then it's like, oh man, here's another wrinkle. You know, it's like there's a downside to every bit of it. So, never mind.
Let's go on to happiness in an eternal frame of reference, right?
Is it paragraph 7?
I think it's 8. You're on 8.
Okay. The resurrection of the world awaits your healing and your happiness, that you may demonstrate the healing of the world. The holy instant will replace all sin if you but carry its effects with you. And no one will elect to suffer more. What better function could you serve than this? Be healed that you may heal. And suffer not the laws of sin to be applied to you. And truth will be revealed to you who choose to let love's symbols take the place of sin.
Okay,
Okay.
onward.
Oh, I just wanted to make one comment.
Yeah.
Resurrection is about the same as awakening, isn't it?
I hope so.
Yeah,
we were
we
just
should
reading
probably
it.
talk about that, huh? The resurrection of the world awaits your healing. The resurrection of the world, as defined by the Course, is the awakening to our true identity. Right? And that's for each of us. We have a resurrection to the awareness of our true identity, as Jesus was a witness that we all can do it in his resurrection. Good catch. Okay. Now, before we awaken, we're dreaming. And so that's why the next section is the dreamer of the dream. Because we
But we
need
like
to
this section.
awaken
But we
from
like
a
this.
dark, deep sleep
Okay.
that